Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to Yuletide-mania. We start off this first weekend of December with a comedy horror film from 2015 called Krampus or Krampus, whatever you say how you say it. This film I just recently saw like a month ago. I saw it on cable, and I like the film. It does have some problems, but I'll get to that. This is a film done by director Michael Dougherty. He has done some other stuff. Like he's a very unknown director. He's not a big name director, but I think that he did a swell job with this movie. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically the Krampus creature is a like an anti Santa Claus. Like instead of giving presents, he takes people away and kills them. And basically, he likes to haunt people. And I think that the film has a lot going for it. But considering that this is a PG-13 horror movie, it's not as pussified as you think. Like, first off, this film has a ton of atmosphere. Like, as soon as Krampus shows up, it's like this giant practical effect of a Santa with a really creepy beard and with horns. It looks like the Beast from the 2017 Beauty and the Beast movie, but I think it looks better because it's all practical. The effects are top notch in the movie, and also, the film is a low budget. It's like about $15 million, so it looks great. And do you see the Krampus in the snow jumping on buildings? There is some CGI, but it's not too much of it, and it really is creepy. Like every time I saw this thing, I was like, oh, I don't want to mess with something like that. But the cast is pretty decent. You have Adam Scott from a bunch of other films. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine too. He was the one to replace John Cusack. You have Toni Collette, who I'm not a fan of. I never liked that actress in anything. You have David Koechner. He's one of the uncles that gets his leg, in like a bear trap when Krampus is setting up traps. Yeah, basically he's like Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th remake or Jigsaw, but it's not as violent as other films. There's some blood, but there's not too much gore because it's PG-13, so they can't show like his getting his leg cut off and then him walking without a leg. That would be too violent. There's a couple of unknowns in the film as well. You got some old German lady that speaks German almost the entire freaking movie. Subtitles, people. Next time, put some damn subtitles or just translate it, please. And you have a little girl in the film. You have the young kid that plays, I think is Max or Tom or something like that. He basically has a dysfunctional family that every Christmas they come together and they try to solve their problems, but they're always at each other's throats. So he has a letter he was going to give to Santa, and then he rips it, and he's like, you know what? I wish this family, I didn't, I didn't have to deal with this family in Christmas. I wish it didn't exist. And basically, that's when Krampus shows up, and it's just really atmospheric. Like I thought it was. It's not terrifying, but it does have a lot of images that will probably creep you out. It's definitely not for kids, even though this is PG-13. I would not recommend this for children because it can scare them, and it's really creepy at times. There's killer toys like in the demonic toys. There's a killer like angel ceramic toy. You have killer gingerbread men that are CG and they're trying to kill the family, and the family fights back. The aunt like uses a shotgun, and David Koechner fights back, and all these other people fight back. There's some comedic moments, but it's more of a horror film. There's two things that I didn't care for in the movie. One I said is Toni Collette. I didn't like her performance. I thought you could have casted anybody in that role, and she's very forgettable. She doesn't really do much, and I don't like the ending. The ending, there's some twist. I'm not gonna say it if you haven't seen this movie. It's one of those Shyamalan twists that doesn't work. I felt like, the film could have just ended with the family getting together for Christmas. That's it. That's all you needed. And you kind of get that, but in a way, it's kind of a shadow of something else. But anyway, the rest of the film I thought was very enjoyable because I'm like, this creature is not screwing around. He doesn't shoot off one-liners like Freddy Krueger. His mouth is like this, and it's really creepy. Like this thing scares me more than the Beast did in the 2017 Beauty and the Beast because it has the same look and it's an anti-Santa, so it's a different premise. It's not just Santa giving gifts. This is a Santa that will fuck you up, and I liked the film for that. I mean, it took chances for a PG-13 film. I know there's a bunch of sequels that came out, like direct to video. No, see the first Krampus from 2015. Yes, it came out the same month as The Force Awakens, but I can rewatch this movie over that because at least this has something original that I've never heard of, that I've never seen. I've seen killer Santa guys in Santa Claus outfits. I've seen killer snowmen. I've seen, like Christmas Evil and all this other stuff, but I've never seen an anti-Santa that, that's not, like Bill Goldberg and Santa Slay that comes after people and haunts them in reality, not in their dreams. And it's actually pretty interesting. And the film is shot very well. The scenes in the snow, you can see what's going on when the Krampus is jumping on buildings. I'm like, wow, if something like that followed me, I would be terrified. I wouldn't sleep for days. So it did affect me. And the cast is fine. I mean, yeah, the bickering could get on people's nerves. This is not a film for everyone. Like I said, it's not for children at all. Even though it's PG-13, do not take a risk and let your children watch this. They will be scared. They probably won't sleep at night. Um, Also, it's not for people that like, they're like, oh, this family isn't likable. I like the main kid. He's a good actor. At least he's not annoying. And the family becomes more likable, except for Toni Collette, because she does nothing. And I wish this film had done better. It did pretty well. It was $15 million for the budget, and it made about 60 something. So I would have liked a true sequel to this in theaters instead of some direct to video schlock. Because the Krampus is an interesting creature. The hand on the snow globe, I think that's a foreshadowing, but I'm not going to spoil it. And it's a really good idea, like an anti Santa. So it's something different. It's not like a typical horror film. It actually takes a lot of chances, and it does some things that are different, and it also has some ideas that are taken from other films, but it goes for it. It doesn't pussify it and remakes a classic movie like some other movies that came out that year. Or it doesn't have jump scares every 5 seconds. There's some jump scares, but there's some things that would make me go, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And the Krampus itself is pretty damn scary. I think it's a menacing creature. It's one of the last original horror creatures I've seen that is not a ghost or evil spirit or like a slasher villain. It's something that you've never seen before, and it's really interesting. I'm glad that this movie was made. I would get this on DVD. It's got a lot going for it. And if you want to see something different in the holidays, I say Krampus is a good way of celebrating the holidays with a different spin on the holiday season in a much darker way. So yeah, I would recommend Krampus. It's decent. It has its problems. Like I said, the ending I think kind of is stupid, and Toni Collette's performance is, but that's about it. The rest of the cast is fine. Very atmospheric, good-looking film. Doherty knows what he's doing with a camera. There's no shaky cam, and the kills and everything are well done. So I would recommend Krampus, and I think it's better than Force Awakens easily because it's rewatchable. Even the stupid ending can't ruin my thing. When I get to the family and the table, I shut the movie off. The movie's over. That's how it is for me. But I'm glad I saw it because it was not horrible and it has a lot of merit. And 68% of Rotten Tomatoes, not too bad. So it's even the critics thought that the film had a lot more potential than other horror films that came out this year. So that's my review of Krampus. I hope you guys check it out. If you don't think it's scary, hey, the creature itself, just look at that thing and tell me that, oh, it's not scary. It's just an anti-Santa with like fake teeth or whatever. If you saw that in your room, you would run for the hills. Trust me, anybody would that has eyes that can see. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed my podcast and my best and worst of the year. I put my heart and soul into that. I'm glad that you've left your comments and your thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't care. Attention is always a good thing here on YouTube, and I'm not just doing this for attention. I wanted to express myself, and I do it in every video. So see you guys in the next one. Enjoy Yuletide-mania, and I'll see you in the next review.